Greetings everyone and welcome in today's PCB webinar. My name is Gezim and I am the Portfolio Manager for IT Security at PCB. Today we will discuss about the webinar topic Embracing Cybersecurity in Cloud Computing. The webinar will be presented by Eric Fourn. Mr. Fourn holds a certification in virtualization and security and also is a certified instructor for virtualization technologies. He wrote a book on VMware vSphere. By being PCB certified trainer, he is authorized to deliver cybersecurity courses worldwide. I hope this webinar will help you understand the importance of cybersecurity on cloud computing. If you have any question, you can write them at any time in question box in right-hand control panel, or you can use the option to raise your hand and we will answer to all of your questions. Please, Eric, you may start with the presentation.
Thank you, Gezim. Hello, everyone. I'm Eric Fourn. So we'll now start the presentation with some topics. What is cybersecurity? Then what's cloud computing? IT infrastructure on the clouds and cloud services. These are the component of cloud computing. And then how do people perceive public clouds? And we will see how to link public cloud and cybersecurity plan. Then what to look for about certifications I've got for a cloud provider when searching for a cloud provider. And we will finish by ISO standard and framework, then some Q&A session. And as was said before, don't hesitate to put questions on the chat window. So what is cybersecurity? Cybersecurity is a subset of information security. Cybersecurity is focused on what we call digital information. What you can create with your computer, tablets, smartphones, and other electronic device. The photos, text documents, PDF files. That's data you have to protect and to make sure it's not tampered with. All that data, when you want to protect it, you fall into the cybersecurity field. These you have careers, and I said careers, it's computers. Computers, smartphones, tablets, they all connect to the internet. I've called it unsecure network is because you can't control it. You have some ways to control the internet, to control what you're doing with the internet, but the problem is internet is a public network. So when you put data on it, you have to make sure you have followed some steps in order to protect your data. All that can be cybersecurity. So that's security, but focused on data. And what's the cloud? We will link the cloud and cybersecurity, but the problem is it's kind of difficult to know what's the cloud, because when you ask someone to define the cloud computing, they think about, and we think about technology, but cloud computing is not about technology. It's a way to use the IT. It's a model. It's IT as a service. You use the IT infrastructure, and you, instead of buying servers, building applications, developing applications, installing, configuring databases, you will purchase subscription to a provider, and then you will be able to use those services, but you only have to get a contract. You don't have to manage all the installation stuff. The thing is, you use the infrastructure, you pay for it, but you don't install it. That's the same about support, update, and business continuity. Cloud could be internal or external. Internal and external is about where the service you use sits. Internal is is managed by the company. If you have your own company and you provide for your different services in your company, you provide IT as a service, we could call internal cloud. You have internal in your own data centers. External is you can still, the company, manage the cloud, manage the infrastructure, but you use other data center. And then we have private, public, and hybrid. Private clouds is the case when you have your traditional infrastructure, servers and so on, inside or managed by the company. Public cloud is elsewhere on Amazon, Microsoft Azure, or other providers. And you have hybrid. Hybrid is both. You use the private cloud and you use links to the public cloud. Some example, you have your production environment in-house, and when you want to test, develop some new application, you can create some new machines just to test and then destroy the machine. So then you can use an external service and the public cloud. So when you link your infrastructure, the private infrastructure, in-house infrastructure with the public clouds, then we can say you have a hybrid. IT infrastructure on the cloud should be on demand, at scale, and multi-tenant. These are the main characteristic of the cloud according to Cisco. You have many definitions on the cloud, but these are characteristic of the infrastructure. So on demand means that resource can be provisioned immediately when needed, released when you no longer require the resources, and it's billed only when you use it. So it's pay as you grow. You only pay what you use, and you could ask for a resource for 1 week, 1 month, 1 year if you want. It's all subscription based. At scale mean that the service provides the illusions of infinite resource availability. When you want to use a 10 or 100 server, your provider should not be a difficulty to provide you with what you ask, because the infrastructure is maintained by the provider, and the provider has let's say thousands of physical servers, and when you ask for, let's say, 100 VMs, yes, it's virtual machines, so it's easily deployed, rapidly deployed, and easily destroyed when you don't need it. About a multi-tenant environment means that the resources are provided to many customers from a single implementation, or maybe single point of administration or control point, because provider should have many data center, but that's not your problem, you're the customer. So this environment is built to serve resources to many customers, and customer could use the infrastructure without knowing, and that's the key. They don't know other companies are using the same infrastructure. It's isolated, and it's built to serve many customers at once. When you have these 3 points, you could consider the infrastructure what we call cloud computing. Cloud services are could be divided in some kind of services. So you have IaaS, PaaS, SaaS, DaaS, and SaaS. So it's infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service, desktop as a service, and managed security as a service. About IaaS, infrastructure as a service, so you get machines and networks. Basically, you install and configure all your application and services. For example, you have Amazon Web Services, EC2, that's instance, that's VMs. So you create so the VPC, Virtual Private Cloud, and you create your networks, and then you can build your servers on top of instances you rent. About PaaS is platform as a service. So you get OS, so operating system, middleware, and OS and middleware are configured by the provider. So you could get database services like DynamoDB or relational database services if you use the same example, AWS, Amazon Web Services. And we have SaaS, software as a service. So when you use SaaS, you use the software without handling any of the installation, configuration, maintenance, business continuity. A good example is Salesforce. Let's go to desktop as a service. So I said desktop, virtually accessible from anywhere, accessible for a limited time. It is still subscription based. And you have on this desktop usually some applications like Microsoft Office, Adobe Photoshop, and other useful application, but you don't need it every time. So you can rent it for a limited period, and that's desktop as a service. It's not very popular, at least in France, but it can be useful when you have to work with Microsoft Office and you don't want to buy the software. or use the Office 365 for a year. And you got a new one. It's called MSaaS, as Managed Security as a Service. So it's basically letting security specialists, partner, manage a part of the company security, such as web, email security, secure scanning, strong authentication. So you have some services outside in your company, and it's managed by a security specialist. So you get reports, you get requests when it's about updating and supporting the security projects. You don't have to be a security professional. You just have to get reports and interpret reports and have some regular meetings with your partner. So managed security as a service is growing. It's growing because companies are not always at ease to configure and manage firewalls, URL filtering, and other security equipment. But how do we perceive the public clouds? When we talk about the cloud computing, always it's about public clouds, because private cloud is traditional infrastructure, basically. So how do we perceive the public clouds? You can see on the right, iCloud, Google Drive, Dropbox. That's some example, because when we talk about public cloud, it's often linked to SaaS, software as a service, like storage as a service, file sharing, email, social networking like LinkedIn, Facebook, and document editing like Google Drive, Google Docs. We perceive it as not secure because data is sent on the internet. So that may be a problem. And for us, public cloud is often linked to personal use, not professional. But company could use public clouds. When companies use public cloud, they have to make sure it's secure. So these kind of personal services like iCloud could be enhanced for the enterprise market. So we have an example with Google. We have a subscription for enterprise market, and for Dropbox we have two. Not for iCloud because it's personal thing. So the problem with when we hear some company want to go to the cloud, we have some we have some concern because of we perceive the cloud as not secure. But it's only about a perception. It's possible to link public cloud and cybersecurity for a company. But when doing this, and you have on the right a good example, because AWS is the first public cloud in the world. When you want to link public cloud and cybersecurity plan, strong training and awareness is required for individuals and professionals. It's because you have to know what is the cloud computing, what services it can bring to the company. I think it's a good idea to consider cloud infrastructure like we did with outsourcing. It's because it's just someone else handling something you used to configure or to manage. Responsibility and perimeters are to be set precisely. This should be one of the main concerns of your of the public cloud. It's because you have to make sure everyone knows what he has to do. Everyone knows his responsibility. When you have a problem with a data center, when you use public cloud, that's not your problem. That's the provider's problem. And consider securing data transfer and data encryption is because when you use hybrid cloud, encrypted data that is a good thing, but you got to make sure data is not intercepted when data is transferring from your company to the public cloud, even if it's encrypted when residing in on the base database on servers on public cloud. You have to consider what kind of data can or cannot be on the cloud. It depends on where are the servers. For example, some data could not leave the country. We have some data called special France. So this data cannot leave France, and that's the same for all countries, I assume. So then remain the one who use the cloud and not not the other way. When I wrote it, I wanted to make sure you use the cloud the way it's meant to be. It's because cloud infrastructure is intended to be used as you need it, only as you need it, and when you need it. If you don't need something, destroy it. Only data matters. The right way to use the cloud infrastructure is to not let data on the cloud or use service because of something. Only business and security requirements should lead the way a company use cloud services. When you don't need some machines, destroy it. Then know the cloud. Even if you're not a technical guy, you should know the architecture, or you should get help to understand the architecture and the services you can use. So the recovery point objective, requirement time objective, the maximum, and for business continuity, backup restore services, what you can do with the cloud infrastructure. You cannot promise to your client to restore a machine within 10 minutes if the infrastructure you're using is not able to. So know the infrastructure you use. So know the cloud, but the cloud knows you. The cloud knows us because we let data and on the cloud when you use the infrastructure, the public clouds. It's okay for personal services like iCloud, like I said, Google and so on, but that's the same when companies are using cloud computing. So encryption, destroying data and so on, that should be enforced. And let's take an example about data. The problem is with cloud is Internet of Things. It's smartphones, devices we use every day to access data. So it's a good thing to make sure your users, personal, professional, know the problem and the service provided with cloud computing. Let's say you have one case. You send an email to someone, and these people open the email, but it's confidential. You said on the subject on the email, this data in this email is confidential. Problem is, you have someone with the smartphone consulting data, let's say in public transport and so on, and it could have some issues when let's say you have someone on the back on the bus, maybe zooming with his own smartphone on the screen and taking photos of the documents the people is consulting. The problem is when you see open a confidential document, users should be able to use people should be able to see that, or to use these documents only in the company. The problem is when you use cloud services, it's easy to use. You could let information, and when someone take photos and so on, if someone does not protect his devices, you have some problem. You could have some problem of data leakage. So implement the cybersecurity plan you should rely on the users, and you should have some plans to tell them how to use their tablets, smartphone, and so on, because it's easy to spread information on the cloud. When you have to select a provider, it could be okay to search for ISO standards, up-to-date ISO standards, a framework they use, certification they own, references, and if the provider is stable. About ISO standards, you could check the year of the ISO standard. Make sure that if they certified or if they follow guidelines, you could check. You must check that guidelines are the last and most recent release. It's the same about the framework, and the framework should be linked to the kind of company and kind of business you run. And about certification, when it's about the ISO, this certification should be accredited. But beware, if you get some information about technical certification, let's say about Amazon, about VMware, about Zen, Citrix, and Hyper-V, Microsoft, so on, if they operate their cloud on Hyper-V, they should be certified on Hyper-V. That's obvious. But these certifications are not accredited because they're from commercial companies. It's no need to accredit this certification. It's because they're from the editor. So certification on ISO standards should be accredited, but you should get some information on technical certification as well. About references, references are the most relevant if they're linked to companies that run business close to your company. So if you're sending some clothes and you have some websites, references about provider, a cloud provider, and if he has another close vendor in his client, maybe these references are the most relevant. But sometimes reference cannot be shared. It's because of confidentiality. And check about stability. It's not a good idea to use the public cloud or to migrate all the infrastructure of the company to a public cloud if the provider has been here since 2 months. And if management of the company changes very often, that's not a good sign of stability. It's because you cannot risk to lose some information or infrastructure or whole services due to a problem with the provider. ISO standards you should search for when searching for a provider is ISO standard and frameworks, NIST, for the Guide to Information Technology Security Services, ISO 27001, 27017 is about practices for information security control for cloud services, and ISO 27018 is a code of practice for protection of PII, so personal identifiable information for public clouds. If you want some example, these two, Amazon Web Services is certified against the ISO 27017 and ISO 27018. That's just an example. I didn't find the information from Azure, but it's not. You can ask the provider to provide you with the certification it owns, and you don't forget you have some right. You have some right to trigger an audit against the cloud provider. You can get your provider audited if you want. About ISO 27032, it's the cybersecurity. It's ISO standards based on cybersecurity. So it's the guidance for improving the state of cybersecurity, and it covers the data, protecting data, protecting against data leakage, protecting against corruption of data, but it's for individual. Organization cannot be certified against this one. So organization are certified from the previous standard we talked about, but you could ask for this certification for individual. So this ISO 27032, and some others like CISSP, for example. The thing to remember, the main thing to remember about ISO 27032 is the link between yes, technical and management system for security. Now I will end to Gezim.
Thank you, Eric, for your presentation. We want to inform you that PCB provides a training and certification service for ISO 27032, lead cybersecurity manager. This is a 5-day intensive course and enables the participants to develop knowledge and competence needed to support an organization in implementing and managing cybersecurity program based on ISO 27032 and the NIST cybersecurity framework. A PCB certificate will demonstrate your dedication in implementing and managing these processes and frameworks, and most importantly, you will be recognized worldwide. To have more information on this, you can visit our website pcb.com on the training section. And now we will go ahead with a question that attendees have addressed for today. The first one is how to know the level of security for email when we use 365 Office, who is published in a public cloud.
Oh, good question. How to know? It's possible to get the provider audited, and about Office 365, it's all based on the security principle, and you have some checklists from Microsoft, and it's possible to know how it's configured, how do you implement authentication, how do you implement the document handling to check that the security principles are enforced on the Office 365 implementation. But the main thing is based on the provider.
Okay, the next question is when I want to publish a business email in the cloud, must it be changed with the certificate of the cloud?
Even if you want to use business email on the cloud, it would be the same as when you want to publish it and use it in-house. You should use and search for your own certificate. You don't have to use the certificate provided by the provider on the cloud cloud infrastructure. You could purchase a certificate and create your own CA if you can afford certificate authority. And if the email servers are on the cloud, you should get your own certificate. That it's not the cloud does not change anything in there.
Okay. Thank you, Eric, for sharing this highly informative presentation, and we also want to thank all the attendees for joining us live today. I strongly hope you had a chance to learn new things today on cybersecurity and cloud computing. Also, I suggest you to take time and see our future webinar that we will be hosting. Next week, we will host a webinar topic which is called Application Security on the Organization. You can also take time and visit our website pcb.com on the webinar section to register for our future webinars. Thank you once again, and hope to meet you soon on our future webinars.
Thank you.